Hello, I'm Dumyake Mwakaliele.
And I'm Vincent Makori. This is In Focus.
Now, in a deal with donors and the IMF, the Democratic Republic of Congo could have most of its foreign debt wiped away. Correspondent Scott Stearns has that story.
Repaying nearly $11 billion of debt is a heavy burden for an economy still recovering from fighting between 1998 and 2003 that killed 5 million people. President Joseph Kabila's moves to reform the economy and better control spending now has the Democratic Republic of Congo on the verge of an historic debt forgiveness that could see the country's outstanding balance slashed to just over $2 billion. International Monetary Fund Mission Chief Brian Ames says steadfast actions are still needed, but the country appears on target to reach that goal by its 50th anniversary of independence on June 30th.
Si le gouvernement continue de mettre en place les mesures comme prévu.
If the government continues in taking the necessary steps which have to be obtained, the IMF and World Bank can prepare all the necessary documents for the Administration Council before the end of June.
Administration avant le fin juin comme prévu.
7 years after a peace deal ended most fighting, Central Bank Governor Jean-Claude Massangu says continuing violence in the eastern Kivu regions means Congo is still not fully benefiting from its mineral wealth.
We need to find a way to manage these security problems and keep the macroeconomic framework on track at the same time.
The IMF says Congo is improving revenue collection, better managing state spending, and making it easier for businesses to operate. Massangu says the deal would cut Congo's annual debt servicing from $920 million to just over $200 million.
These figures are important and will allow the Congolese to spend the next 50 years without the burden of over $10 billion of debt.
The United Nations plans to begin withdrawing some of its peacekeepers from Western Congo by June as well, which could put more of a strain on the national army to provide more of its own security. But the bulk of the 20,000-strong UN force will remain in the east at least until next year. President Kabila is also finalizing a $9 billion mineral deal with China, which will be Beijing's largest investment in Africa, giving state-owned firms the right to develop copper and cobalt mines in exchange for building roads, railways, hydroelectric dams, universities, airports, and hospitals. The IMF delayed its decision on debt forgiveness because of concern about the conditions of some of the loans in that Chinese mineral deal. The plan was modified to address those concerns, and Congo is again moving forward toward $70 million of a 3-year, $550 million package of IMF loans to be repaid at concessionary rates after 2016. Scott Stearns, VOA News, Dakar.